We had a great time together with Stefan and Jeanette, sailing from St. Maarten to Bermuda. Stefan and Jeanette are old friends from us, from Holland. They are not sailors, but they really love to be on the ocean. We had some interesting weather, a low pressure area that was passing us. Luckily we were able to find a spot where we could go through the tail of the depression without being hit by thunderstorms.
Yeah, it still looks like there's a hole where we can go through here.
Nou, we zitten nog steeds door het gat te sturen. Echt fantastisch.
So we did change for the Zoland. The wind in the meantime is 20 knots.
Ik zie hier die rand daar. We blijven buiten, zie je?
Next step, second reef.
Thanks to Starlink, we could actually follow the depression live via the satellite and even see our position relatively to that and steer it exactly in between the clouds. Because of the fact that Saga had 66 knots of wind, we decided to reef at least with 2 reefs so that we are ready for even more. It was so sudden, there was no way you could do any sail changes when this microburst hit them.
So we're gonna take the Jannica to the sailmaker here, Ocean Sails in Bermuda. It's just a little bit of the stitching of the top of the sail which needs some new stitching, and then we can use it again on our ocean crossing west-east via the Azores back to Europe.
Nee, maar het is drinkwater.
Huh?
Het is drinkwater, dus we kunnen ook gewoon in de tank gooien.
And there are only 20 in the world. We saw, I think we saw 5, 6, 7. Volgens mij starten ze hem, of niet? Have fun, guys! The last outboats are leaving the dock. You saw Kumbaya. This cat is the very last one, and then they're gonna take the Glivo boats in. The harbour master is waiting for the Ark to leave. They're leaving together at 12.
The whole Glio is rafted together in the small harbour in the center of the town, St. George in Bermuda. It is a very nice place. The island is beautiful, everything is very well taken care of and maintained, and the nature is stunning.
Loïc was able to help them with the autopilot.
Zo kun je zeggen dat je alle geluk van de wereld hebt vandaag. Dat je en de accu en dit. Ja, ik word gek. Ik word gek. Oh, ja.
And then we leave for the Azores, our last big ocean crossing, and also one of the more interesting ones, because for the first couple of days you will have a decent weather forecast, and then you have to dance with the lows and the highs to find your way to the Azores.
Here's Pipilotta again. We saw them in St. Martin as well. It's a balance 526. HH 44. We saw them in St. Martin as well.
So we actually leave with very nice weather, and we know that for the first 4 or 5 days we will have a good wind direction and beautiful weather.
The temporary repair of the batten receptacle seems to work pretty well. Don't see a big problem, even now there's more wind. Even Nina is out of bed in the meantime.
Yes.
Well, it's noon.
Tasty coffee 15.
We're standing in
So I took over from Nina at 3 and I was relieved at 3:15 by Marai.
That's a pretty long shift for you.
Where is strength to leave behind? Tell me where is peace of mind? 'Cause I'm calling.
Well, the waves so far have been really short and annoying. They're low, but still, last night it was really terrible. And then this morning we were able to set the Jenniker, but you can see difficult with the waves to keep it stable. With the pitching movement of the boat, the pin of the furler came loose again on the bottom end. We were able to furl it in and get the tension off, put it back in again. And then while we were at it, we were checking the halyard on the other side as well. And Marijke's repairs came loose again, so we're redoing it again. With the Soland on instead of the Jenniker, we're missing 4 knots. But at least we're going forward.
Hij maakt niet dat klakgeluid meer.
The sun is rising on the front of the boat again. It still rises in the east, of course. It's 5 AM. We will put the Jenniker back again once Marijke wakes up. At the speed with the Soland has been quite okay during the last couple of hours in the night. I looked at the waves as well. It should get better somewhere tomorrow.
Eigenlijk wil je gewoon wel iets later zijn.
Dat is denk ik nog veel te vroeg om te zeggen.
Ja.
Ik denk dat het ook geen reet uitmaakt trouwens.
The arc started like a little bit over 5 days earlier from Bermuda than us.
The only boat we can still see is Vitamine. Behind us a couple of miles. All the other boats are either way behind us or
Only one in front of us. Saga.
too far in front of us. Huh? So we're going to change the Jenniker for the Code Zero to have a quiet evening. Just before 8. So we changed for the Code Zero. Speeds are still okay. We can go a little bit higher up. We're doing 125, 127 with the Jenniker. Now the wind angle is going in the direction of 110.
At this moment there is a very big depression in the forecast which is building up, and if everything goes well we will be in front of that.
Well, probably keeping the Code Zero up, even if we would go faster with Jenniker. Just want to be sure that the sheave and the halyard and the sail, of course, will stay in one piece. Is it just me, or are these current simulations just useless? So you have to go up in Horta again. Polish the trumpet maybe a little bit more. Well, it's a long time ago that we are wearing sweaters. Letting the dust mites blow a little bit in the wind. I hope they blow back to Bermuda. Saturday morning. Today we were supposed to enter the no wind zone. But the low seems to travel with us, and we still have enough wind to keep some speed. So now the wind is decreasing, 7 knots. Slowly getting less. Good morning, sunshine.
Good morning.
Did you sleep well?
Yes. It's pretty calm sea, so no banging. Deep sleep.
Yeah, no banging.
Now healthy breakfast.
It's only 4 days to Azores, so don't worry too much.
So Mark put some tape around the bottom of the shackle, close to the furler, so that it couldn't go out, because the seas were very bumpy. Especially in the beginning of the trip, we had the wind from the back, but the waves came from the front. Very annoying.
We are in the calm zone now, winds between 5 and 8 knots. Normally would be weather for the A2, the asymmetrical spinnaker. We're gonna have a similar weather for the next day and a half, I guess. And we don't want Nina to be alone with the spinnaker in her night shift, so we chose the Jenniker. We're still going some 6-7 knots most of the time. No need for the engines. We still should be in time to reach the Azores before the storm front arrives. 840 miles to go. There's nothing to see or do out here. I'm finishing the book and I started the next episode as well. What a terrible life I have. Well, the wind is down to 4 knots now. And it might even get worse. Vitamin and Saga just started their engines. But the Cirrus is already there. It's difficult to judge though how far it is from us. Maybe I can see it on windy and get an idea how fast it will approach us. And Nino is back there, well, a bit over 100 miles back there. I'm going 8.5 knots. Not a lot beats nice guacamole on the foredeck. We'll keep doing the other stuff as well, but
That's definitely too much information again.
Yeah, you have to get used to that.
we saw something in the water in front of us. A June boy.
It looks like a kind of a boat boy. Is it?
I think so.
Get closer.
There's a body hanging on.
Yes. Somebody is clamping on,
Yeah.
trying to survive. We'll call Nino that is there and send him the coordinates. I don't see a body.
Yeah, it really looks like it's dead.
There's a rope on.
Yeah. Mark, looking at the weather forecast, I want to be more in the direct line to Horta.
Yeah, but there are all kind of calms.
Yeah, we are now in one and it's okay. I love it. Can we have more of these calms?
This is Marika after half a drink. It's really funny. I should give her alcohol every day. It makes life so much better. Do you think there's some wind over there? It's very difficult to find the right routing through the comb. We're getting a little bit of wind now, 6, 7, 8 knots. It has been closer to 5 all night. For now, the storm front that was predicted earlier seems to be a little bit weaker than expected. We are having drinks with Vitamin and Saga. They're 3 miles in front of us. And we turned the engine on as well to be able to catch up. I think the wind will be in there. This front is approaching. Motor sailing doesn't bring a lot more, but it's another 2 knots, I guess.
Cheers.
Cheers. We're gonna start already, huh? It's gonna take an hour before we catch up with them. Party! Doesn't really make a lot of sense with 6 knots of wind to put the engine on, because you go about the same speeds. It's just when the sails start flapping, it gets annoying.
And then there is a period of hardly any wind, and Zaga decides to wait for us a bit, and we have a meeting and a drink together in the middle of the ocean. That's really funny. It is so good to be close to each other, and yeah, it feels a little bit comfortable not to be out there all alone. So we are approaching Saga and Vitamin under the jib. In the background you can already see the front coming in, and now we will welcome it. It's not so active anymore, it's just a nice wind, and we welcome it because then we can have a decent speed again in the direction of Horta. you're totally right. Yeah, Mark is already busy on the PC trying to collect all the images, and I think it is going to be really beautiful with the dark front in the back.
A lot of current against, almost 2 knots. Doesn't help. It's quite calm, so no problem to edit. And both models now say that we have to go north. First we stay close to the Greatcircle line, and then we slowly go north a bit, above it, to anticipate on the winds being against along the line later on. But it's still going to be upwind last couple of days all the way to the Azores.
In the meantime, the reality is going to be completely different than the forecasts from the beginning. And luckily there will be no deep depression or dangerous weather. The disadvantage is we're going to have upwind for the last couple of 100 miles.
Still have a lot of current against us, otherwise we would have done quite a couple of miles in the last night. 2 knots of current against us now. One reef in the main, only the soul end up. The second autopilot is on heading mode. That's the only mode he has. It's getting colder, as you can see on the blanket and the socks. It's grey outside. Basically going upwind, but not too much. 500 miles to go. They were really there. Twice. A little bit bouncy, but the sun is coming out again. It's a big difference. One reef, soul end, 22, 23 knots. It's Tuesday morning, and the last 400 miles is going to be upwind all the time. Well, the cushion was all the way dry and I'm sitting here for 5 seconds and I get a big wave right over me. Well, this is probably not the best position. So on weather like this and going upwind, we like to close the whole tent. And we have one big living space. Can't prevent the bouncing, of course, of the waves, as it has an effect going 10 knots right into them. but it's still pretty comfortable. I was editing my video this morning. I will continue later on. It is very different than going downwind in the trade winds from east to west on the Atlantic, but it's still pretty comfy and life goes on as normal. Vitamin is still there, just beside us, 4 mile. He has a Genoa as well, same as Saga. For upwind purposes, this might have been a better decision. Then again, we don't have a lot of upwind in our tour around the world. It doesn't make a lot of sense to pinch all the way upwind, so we choose somewhere in between where our VMG is still okay, between 7 and 9, and we're not going straight into the waves. Unfortunately, the angle is just too small to use the Code Zero, and the Code Zero, well, we said that before, it's not suited for this crossbeam, was made for the original one. And then of course the Solent is much smaller than the Genoa on the other boats. Not only smaller, but according to Loïc, the Genoa helps him push through the waves.
When you look at the images, you don't see how much we were bouncing. It was even difficult to go to the toilet without hurting yourself, or to have a shower or whatever. So we are making the tack a little bit earlier than Saga and Vitamin, because we are hoping that in the meantime the weather will change a little bit, as it did constantly the last couple of days. And if the wind is going to be a little bit more favorable on this tack, we don't need to make this extra 60 miles. If the wind stays the same, then we have to make the 60 miles extra in the end.
It's time to set a reef.
It seems like 42 degrees of apparent wind angle might be the best compromise between speed and angle. So to a wind direction of 33 before. If we get 20, then we will be able to go directly to Horta. Monohull from the Ark, Lema. So he's going 115, course over ground, 7 knots. We are in the final 260 miles towards Horta. We will be all the way upwind for the last, I think 2 days, 1.5 day. It currently says that we will arrive Thursday afternoon. It is 5 AM on Wednesday now. So we're on a straight course for the Canary Islands.
Wij hebben inderdaad 10 graden, een beetje betere wind dan zij, hè? Precies wat we dachten.
Are they gone again?
Yes!
But you've got them, or?
No! I don't think so!
No.
Oh, they're coming back there!
No? Maybe the boat is slamming too much. They like it more downwind.
Well, we all like it more downwind.
That's for sure. Ist so schön mit dieser Lärm im Hintergrund.
Yeah.
Ja? Hat man auch die Ahnung, dass wir sehr schnell sind. Das sind wir eigentlich auch, oder? Ja, upwind, 10, 11 knots.
Unfortunately, our strategy didn't work. The wind stayed in the wrong direction for us, and the last part that we have to do is going straight against the wind. So we tried to do it with a little bit of motor sailing.
Well, we went 2 knots VMG, that did make a lot of sense. And I tacked to the other side and we were making between 2 and 3 knots VMG again. So now we're going straight at the Azores for the last 100 miles. As soon as the wind is not straight on the nose, we will sail again, of course, but this will save us another day. Well, we're still tacking, 88 miles to go, and a couple probably go behind the breakwater in Horta. The Azores are on this side, on port side of the boat. The waves are a bit calmer in the meantime, but we are going straight into them. I think we've made 7 or 8 tacks this morning already.
When we have 40 miles to go, we can see Pico and Horta already.
Wheels down. Captain is out of bed.
We arrive very early in the morning, it's still dark. We anchor the boat and go to bed for a couple of hours.
Je bent klaar.